We are now joined by Clay Smith from Community Partners for Kids, and thank you, Clay, for taking a minute to be with us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, first of all, Community Partners for Kids and what goes on there, because a lot of things that you do revolve around helping children.
Our Community Partners for Kids is a 13-year-old organization, but 5 years ago, in 2009, we started providing child identification services to families with kids. We became aware of a huge problem nationally and locally. I mean, frankly, you can hardly pick up a newspaper or watch a news report without hearing a story about some attempted luring of a child or an abduction or children that going missing. And what we do is trying to address this problem is we provide a complete electronic ID of your child. So God forbid you ever have to, you've got a resource to hand to law enforcement when that child goes missing.
And when some child does go missing, there's chaos. So
Pure chaos. And in fact, speaking to law enforcement folks, they tell us that often they'll go into the home reporting a missing child, and there's no current photograph of the child to be had, at least not easily. And they have a hard time getting physical data together. What is it? Did you weigh? Do you weigh 100? Do you weigh 130? Is that hair blonde or light brown? So the details are hard to come by, and you're losing valuable time. Well, anybody involved with trying to recover missing children will tell you that it's very important that you try and find that child in the first 3 hours.
What do you say to someone who says, well, my kids are pretty safe. I never leave them out of my sight?
Well, those are the folks that aren't paying attention to the news reports, unfortunately, because it happens all over. There's 1 million children a year get reported missing. 200,000 of them are actually taken by non-custodial parents, but 50,000 of them are taken by strangers. Those children are severely at risk. 64% of those children that are taken suffer some form of abuse, physical, sexual, and 65% of the children that are taken that way are girls, little girls. So what we're trying to do is give a resource, if you would, to the parents to have on hand if they ever need it. Hopefully they put it in a drawer somewhere where they know where it is and they never have to go for it. But if they do, it's an Amber Alert certified CD they walk away from our program with. And that can launch a tri-state Amber Alert in about 10 minutes, given to law enforcement.
So let's talk about how it works, because I know you're set up here at this event that we're at today, and you don't charge people for that, but how does that work?
Well, we're a nonprofit agency. We get all of our funding actually from the business community, folks in the community themselves. We will go out to nonprofit agencies, community groups, a local scout troop, whatever, a Boys and Girls Club, a YMCA, and we will provide this service to them at no cost to them. We don't charge them a penny for sponsoring the event. Our staff will actually go out to the businesses in the area around those facilities or locations, and we'll raise the money by doing that. So it doesn't cost them, it doesn't cost the agency anything or the group anything, and nor does it cost the parents anything.
Now, I know you have a goal. You want to do a lot of children this year. I mean, tell us a little bit about what your plan is for the year.
Our plan, the last couple of years, we've done maybe 40 to 50 events each year, which means we were doing about 3,000 to 4,000 children a year. This year, we set a really aggressive goal for ourselves to do 13,000 children. That means we've got to do about 180 events this year. Right now, we're on track not to quite get to that number, but we're getting quite a bit of response of late. So we're really hopeful we're going to get to 180 to 200 events done and do 13,000 plus children.
So from a business perspective or from a community perspective, how can people both find you and help you?
Well, we have a website, cpforkids.org. It's cp4kids.org. We have a page on there, a couple pages on there, all about our child ID program. They can go in there, they can actually look at our event calendar and see when upcoming events are scheduled, where they are, what time, what days. So it's very easy to get information about the ID event, and it explains on there as well how the program works.
So someone who has a child and wants to know where the next event is, they will also find it there?
Absolutely. Just go on there, they'll look at our schedule and just see when the events are, where they are, and times and days, et cetera there.
So what are we leaving out? What would we like to make sure everybody...
I'd like to be sure that every nonprofit agency or community group is aware that we can provide this service to them at no cost to them, nor to the parents that they're serving or the families they're serving. So if you're involved in a nonprofit agency, a small community group like a scout troop, a youth sports team, whatever it is, we're glad to come out and ID the children in that program.
So in a final word, what do we want to leave people thinking about? Today we're at an event at St. Luke's. Tell us where we are.
We're at St. Luke's West End Medical Center. State Representative Ryan McKenzie and St. Luke's have co-sponsored this event. It's called Special Needs Awareness Day. There's about 40 plus vendors here today providing information to families with special needs, either children or adults in the family. They've asked us to come and provide the fingerprinting and electronic ID service to anybody that wants it.
Well, that's exciting, and we want to encourage anybody listening to go to the website. It's on the screen, and to also get in touch with you because they can sponsor an event like this if they're a business.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we've done it for many businesses that want to just use it as a way to give back to the community, the people that they do business with. So we're wide open to an individual business calling us and asking us to come out and spend 4 or 5 hours at their facility.
We want to encourage everybody to help Community Partners for Kids to reach their goal this year and ID as many children as possible right here in the Lehigh Valley.